Yeah, and I think, it was sort of a leap for me and even people to sort of see me being a digital nomad and just traveling for so long. And most people are still in this sort of I'm going to take a vacation once a year kind of mindset. To renounce your citizenship, I think is a bigger step that most people would never even know is possible. Could you say what it was like maybe to when you finally decided to renounce your U.S. citizenship?
Yeah, so for years, I traveled and then full time traveled and later lived as I do now outside of the United States, and a little over 3 years ago decided to formally expatriate, renounce my U.S. citizenship. And I have to say, by the way, they were extremely nice. People think like they're going to be really nasty. I guess sometimes they are, but they were super nice to me. And I realized, I said, you know, I'm a pretty conservative guy. I'm a pretty libertarian guy, I guess. Obviously, I think that taxes should be as low as possible. Government should be as small as possible. Maybe socially more liberal. But I said, America first, Donald Trump. Tax cuts, all for it, whatever. I said, America first. I mean, like, as if this is a country that goes in and they like break up other countries. Believe me, I don't. This is not a country that's last in the world, okay? But so many people, because their jobs went to other countries, that this, I think we were talking about Vietnam and other places in Asia. These places deserve a middle class too, and so as a result, the U.S. isn't as competitive anymore. People actually have to deliver value rather than just being born in the right place. And so now, a lot of people are angry. They think, oh, America's not first anymore. And so Trump comes in, America first. And I said, this is not going to be good for people like me, because you saw what he said from the beginning, and you saw what the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act actually did, which was, if you're a guy overseas and you're keeping your money overseas, which was the law since 1986, they're going to apply a one-time retroactive tax on all that money. And, I just basically said, before that happened, I said, this America first is not going to work. I said, the country's going in the wrong way. I said, you have politicians who want all kinds. I mean, they're calling for the heads of people who are entrepreneurs. And it can't get any better. My father and I talked about this in the 1990s when I was a teenager. He said, there's always a rise and fall of empires. And he says, this empire that we live in may be good now, but he says, in 20 years, it won't be the place for you if you want to be successful. And he was right. And he said, go where you're treated best. He made up the five magic words. And I just realized, I said, I don't want to stick around. And now you look, this last year, the embassies, by the order of the State Department, were closed. You can't renounce your citizenship. I mean, imagine that, right?
Hmm.
If they did that in some African banana republic, the UN and the US and the UK would be calling them a totalitarian dictatorship. But the US government and every government, right, they use excuses. They have a convenient excuse. Nobody can renounce. And what if your crypto has gone up fourfold in the last year and you wanted to renounce? Well, maybe you couldn't. Tough. Now you got to pay us. And I just realized it's not going to get better. And so I think you really hit the nail on the head that people don't do it because they really don't imagine. And the defense mechanism is, well, so many people are coming to our country, so you're an idiot for leaving it. Not only was there just an article about how net migration from Mexico is in favor of Mexico, people are leaving. They're going back. More people are leaving than are coming. And that's been the case off and on for years. But the people who are coming are, God bless them. Many of them have very difficult situations. They just want an economic opportunity. The people who are leaving the US have already created success, and they're saying, I don't have to live in the US to be successful. I can live in Bogota, I can live in Kuala Lumpur or Hong Kong or Singapore or anywhere on the internet these days. I have 23-year-old kids from Morocco who make high six-figure incomes selling stuff online. And they didn't have the same privilege, but they managed to figure it out. Russians, Ukrainians, Brazilians, people from all over the world call us, Egyptians. We deal largely with Americans and Westerners, but those people call us because they've created great businesses. So apparently you don't have to be in the US anymore. And so if you've already created success and you're wealthy, being American becomes a lot less enviable.
Yeah, and it's really interesting, the opportunity that America presented for so long, which, drew people here in the first place, is the
Yep.
same factors that's going to draw people somewhere else if there's better opportunities. And that's your go where you're treated best. And I think people don't really hadn't considered that there was a choice that could be made. This, this where you were born, your family happened to be living there. Um, and yeah, it's a bit of a shakeup to consider that you might